The world stands on the edge of a knife, from the skies over Europe to the waters of the Pacific. A silent, heavy tension grows stronger with each passing day. Nations that once promised peace are now quietly building armies, testing missiles, and preparing technologies that once seemed like science fiction. Many fear that history is beginning to repeat itself, that the world is sleepwalking toward another global conflict. After the devastation of World War II, the world collectively said, "Never again." Yet, 80 years later, the warning signs are flashing red everywhere you look. The United States, China, and Russia, three of the most powerful nations on Earth, are locked in a quiet but intense race for dominance. But this isn't a race for territory alone. It's a battle for information, for space, and for the future of artificial intelligence. This is not a war fought with tanks and trenches. It's a war of data, drones, and digital power. The United States, long seen as the world's leader, is scrambling to reinforce its alliances across Europe and Asia. Billions are being poured into advanced fighter jets, hypersonic missiles, and impenetrable cyber defenses. Behind every political speech lies a shadow of fear that one wrong move could ignite something unstoppable. Meanwhile, China is rising faster than any nation in modern history. Its military has become a formidable force, its economy more resilient, and its global reach now extends across oceans and continents. The Chinese government speaks of peace and shared prosperity, but its actions tell a different story. New military bases, new warships, and cutting-edge AI weapon systems are rapidly reshaping the global balance of power. Then there's Russia. Once thought to be weakened after the Cold War, it is now using energy, cyber acts, and regional conflicts to reassert its influence. The invasion of Ukraine wasn't just a grab for territory, it was a brutal message to the West. A warning that Russia still has teeth, and that the old world order is no longer untouchable. And as some nations condemn these actions, others are quietly preparing for their own power plays. But the battlefield of the future won't be just on land or sea. It will be fought in the digital realm. In fact, cyber warfare is already happening, invisible, silent, and devastating. Governments are hacking into each other's power grids, communication networks, and defense systems as we speak. AI algorithms are being trained to predict, manipulate, and even destroy, all without a human command. The new arms race isn't for nuclear weapons. It's for control over artificial intelligence. Imagine a world where wars are fought by autonomous machines, guided by superintelligence systems that learn faster than any human can think. This isn't a sci-fi movie plot anymore, it's already in development. And as each nation races to be the first to perfect it, the risk of a global catastrophe grows exponentially. Because once machines decide who the enemy is, there may be no turning back. Economically, the pressure is also building. Global inflation, energy, crises, and collapsing supply chains are pushing countries into survival mode. And when nations feel threatened, they look inward. History shows us that fear, combined with a rising tide of nationalism, propaganda, and a hunger for control, creates the perfect storm for conflict. Experts are calling this moment Cold War 2.0, but this time, it isn't just two superpowers facing off. It's a multipolar world, with every nation trying to stay ahead as the ground shifts beneath their feet. And while our leaders talk of peace, their actions prepare for the exact opposite. We're seeing massive military budgets, secret defense projects, and weapons that could change the course of humanity in an instant. As ordinary people, we only see glimpses of this: a breaking news alert, a protest on TV, or the price of gas suddenly soaring. But behind these small events, a much larger game is being played. A dangerous game of strategy, fear, and technology. And in this new game, information is the most powerful weapon of all. But there is still hope. Because just as technology can be used to destroy, it can also be used to connect and protect. Nations still have the power to choose diplomacy over destruction. People still have the power to demand peace instead of falling for propaganda. And history reminds us that every great war began with a misunderstanding and ended with a painful realization. The world doesn't need another war to remember what peace feels like. What it needs is awareness. It needs truth. And it needs voices willing to ask the tough question: what are we really fighting for? As this race for dominance continues, one thing becomes chillingly clear. The next World War won't start with a bang. It'll start with a click. This is Zach Updates, uncovering the truth, one story at a time. If you want to stay aware and informed, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Remember, the future belongs to those who understand the present. Thanks for watching.